So this is the architecture. Except there's one more thing. The one more thing is we have been secretly, for the last 18 months, designing a completely new user interface. And that new user interface builds on Apple's legacy and carries it into the next century. And we call that new user interface Aqua because it's liquid. One of the design goals was when you saw it, you wanted to lick it. And so we call it Aqua, and this is the architecture for Mac OS X. And we are incredibly, incredibly excited and pleased with how this has turned out. Now, when we talk about user interfaces, let me show you. This is it. No. This is what started it all, right? The original Macintosh in 1984, 512 by 384, dots on the screen, black and white, kicked off a revolution. And we saw others follow in the late 80s. This is Windows 3.1 in the late 80s. And Apple followed up in the mid-90s with the current user interface called Platinum, still the best thing out there. And then this is Windows 98, which obviously came out in 98. So these are the user interfaces out there. They're all credible. They all work. How do we take this to the next level? Well, let me show you a few slides on Aqua, and then I'd like to demonstrate it for you. So this, you get a little feeling for what Aqua may be like. So I'd like to just start off, when you design a new user interface, you have to start off humbly. You have to start off saying, what are the simplest elements in it? What does a button look like? And you spend months working on a button. That's a button in Aqua. This is what radio buttons look like. Simple things. This is what checkboxes look like. This is what pop-up lists look like. Again, you're starting to get the feel of this, a little different. This is what sliders can look like, right? Now let me show you Windows. This is what the top of Windows look like. These three buttons look like a traffic signal, don't they? Red means close the window, yellow means minimize the window, and green means maximize the window. Pretty simple. And tremendous fit and finish in this operating system. When you roll over these things, you get those. You see them? And when you are no longer the key window, they go transparent. Right? So a lot of fit and finish in this. In addition to the fit and finish, we paid a lot of attention to dynamics. Not only how do things look, but how do they move? How do they behave? And our goal in this user interface was twofold. One, we wanted to give a much more powerful user interface to our pro customers. But two, at the very same time, we wanted to make this the dream user interface for somebody who's never even touched a computer before. And that's really hard to do. It's like when we do films at Pixar. It's really easy. It's a lot easier to make a film that appeals to 5-year-olds and under. But it's very difficult to make one film that 5-year-olds love and that their parents also love. And that was the goal of this user interface, to make it span the range so that our people turning on their iMac for the first time were enchanted with it and was super easy to use. And yet our pro customers also felt, my God, this takes me to places I thought I could never get to. And that's what we tried to do. We also have proxies built right in, so when you want to drag a document off, you can just drag this little proxy off very nicely. And these are what scroll bars look like. Right? So, let me go ahead and show this to you.